Michael, you want to
Yes.
send them out, and then we'll have Marlene send it all.
Absolutely. We started about a month ago with our prayer list, and we just take a moment before we get started with our talk to ask our angels. Let's all take a nice deep breath together. I'm going to take a couple. And let's do another. Let's do one more. So we invite our beloved angels and ask them to surround each one of these beloveds in our life with love and light, guidance and healing. And asking, and so it is. We're going to send that off with a beautiful heart crystal bowl. And Marlene, if you want to come up and give us a tone.
Or the heart. You can have your eyes open, closed, just relax and just feel the vibration. You will hear it, but I want you to feel it. Blessings.
Thank you.
Marlene.
It is starting to get warmed up in here.
Yeah, it'll generate some heat.
Well, welcome everybody. My name's Michael Lott. I'm co-pastor here. Randy and Victoria, the owners of the store, and Victoria's the co-pastor. They're in Nashville having a family adventure this weekend, so I'm sending them lots of love. And as every Sunday, I always say we're going to go on an adventure together. Every one of my events, they're always an adventure. And today, the topic, it's been a real interesting couple of weeks. I bet many of you have been experiencing different levels of transformation and emotion and waves of experiences, maybe things that you thought were finished in your life have kind of circled back around in some way. And we talked about this the last Sunday, and I've been talking about it pretty much in all my gatherings lately, because I feel that it's so important that we really connect with these energies now, because they're just so transformative and healing. And so the topic that really bubbled up today was cultivating a listening mind and heart. And what does that look like? What does it mean? I know in my life experience that has taken on many different forms and continues to evolve. And what I've really come to in this over the years is the most important part of cultivating a listening mind and heart is learning to love what is. Whatever is going on in our life, even the most traumatic or the emotions that are coming up, is learning to just love all of that, whatever it is. Because the moment we feel an emotion or we come in contact with a life experience in our life, and we feel that resistance, we feel like, oh no, I'm going to push that away, that's not spiritual. That's not what I'm supposed to do. Anger's not what I'm going to do. I don't like it. I was told not to do that. The moment that we do that, we push away the opportunity to learn and grow and love our humanity. And I'm becoming more and more just raw and real in my life as far as things are the way they are, as I'm integrating these concepts and such myself. And I invite each one of you today to maybe just allow forth something that's happened into your life. Just bring it into this space today as we surround everything in our lives with love, unconditional love and acceptance. And I say this as today I'm going to talk about my journey a little bit. My journey from the moment that I can remember as a little one has been looking outside of myself, waiting for people to love me and accept me. And so my journey going through school was filled with all kinds of experiences of different kinds of mental abuse and traumas that they would happen to me, and I would constantly be reflecting against my external world. Well, I must not be good enough because I'm not getting the reassurance that I'm wanting in the moment when these experiences are happening. And so this just has gone on, throughout the years. Come on in. And this just has kept evolving throughout the years and hitting different experiences and challenges that make me take a look at those aspects of myself, those reflections, that cycle of you're not good enough, and that feeling within that no matter what I would do, it was still there, and it was a feeling in my body. And so over the years, I would look at it, but then it was so painful, I would push it to the side, and push it to the side, and push it to the side, and push it to the side. And after doing that for so long, the universe started giving me experiences that really took it up a notch, that were transformative. And I'll give you one example. One example that happened in my 20s, because I also, even the metaphysical things that I studied from a child and different things, I felt like an outcast, like I was weird, like they weren't the norm. And so one way that manifested, along with my being a gay man and going through that journey of learning to accept myself, was in my 20s. I had moved away to college and came back, and on inception of moving back, the church that I had grown up with invited me to join. And in a very short order, I just felt like the right thing to do. In a very short order, I joined. I was living with my partner at the time, and within 3 months, I get a letter from the church that I had just joined that said, "You are no longer welcome as a member." And it was a church that I grew up with that was founded on unconditional love. So I had the opportunity in that moment. It was a transforming moment, because in the past I had seen these outside experiences as ones that, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. But at this point I had to make a decision of, was I going to let that experience continue in that form, or was I going to let it be a transforming experience and change my thinking around it? And because my heart was so connected with these people that I had known for years, I decided that it was going to be a transformative experience, and that what I really felt, and this is kind of what we're going to talk about listening beyond the external. What I felt was that these people that were reflecting pain on me by saying you're not worthy to be a part of this church anymore were in such pain themselves that they were asking for an opportunity. And was I willing to go beyond myself, the pain, the physical that I was experiencing, to be that opportunity for them and me to grow in this. And so I went about, and one thing that I started doing was writing, giving myself permission. And today I'm going to ask each one of you to give yourself, and maybe look at this a different way, give yourself permission to feel whatever it is. And I did this in this experience. I gave myself permission to feel the anger, the hurt, the all of that. I didn't dwell on it, but I gave myself the experience to let myself go through those feelings. And out of that came passion, this absolute within me, because what I've learned in my experience, and I bet many of you have too, when you let yourself experience your anger, that doesn't mean that you have to project it out to people. If you do, there are typically consequences for that, but they can also be a learning experience and a growing experience with someone too, by allowing that to come out. But the anger that came out of me was channeled in a new way after I gave it permission to come out. It came out as these letters of passion about what love meant to me. And I started writing them, and I sent them to the church and asked that they be read in front of the whole congregation during the meeting. And I wasn't there, but I heard that they were, and eventually that was turned around. So I learned in that moment, by speaking my truth in the way that I felt, that it was an opportunity for others, as was myself. I also learned in that moment that experience, that just because that happened didn't mean that I had to stay with the church either. That I was also giving myself permission to let go of where I was, because that wasn't serving my growth anymore. I was ready to learn new things, grow and expand. So in that story, some of the points that I wish to kind of hone in on are the concept of listening. What does listening mean? Sometimes we think of listening being this listening to what other people are saying. And I think in our everyday lives, we get used to just hearing what people are saying from their mouth. And 99% of the time, what's coming out of their mouth is not what their heart is saying. And if we could pause for a moment when in these challenging situations, and how many of you in the last couple of weeks have had some sort of challenging situation where maybe you've gotten into a heated discussion with someone, or felt a wave of anger come up, or why are they saying this to me? So these are opportunities to pause for a moment, take a breath, and give ourselves permission, first and foremost, to feel what comes up and arises, and surround it with love. And if you have to leave or walk away or whatever you have to do, it's okay. But giving those energies a place. I know for me over the years, writing's been a good way to get those out without projecting or creating those scenarios, but I've done that too, and I've learned that sometimes when I've blasted somebody in my life that has created an opportunity to go through these experiences, we end up having a deeper relationship afterward because I let it out, and then we get to have a conversation around where that came from and where the pain was, and it became a very authentic opportunity to explore one another in the moments. So I've learned through my experience, and I offer this energy to you today, that loving whatever arises brings forth an opportunity to grow with yourself, possibly with someone else in your life. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's time to even just let it go, and by offering the truth within you forth will allow it to evolve in authenticity. We're at this energy now on the planet. I venture to say everyone in here knows what I'm talking about, that we're being required, the energy's requiring of us to be and step into a deeper level of authenticity. You see the planet, all of these different wars and all this chaos really boiling. It's coming to a boiling point, our politicians and all of this stuff. And where is, if you were to listen a little bit deeper into all of that instead of hearing the chatter, just the energetic chatter of pain and war and blame and all of that stuff, on so many levels, it's just a mirror for ourselves of where we get in the energetic chatter. And if we choose to get into all of that energy, we add to the energetic chatter of all of that. Blah, 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 blah. What if every day you stopped and took a moment, and maybe some of you do this already, and really listened to what these people were saying, really listened, tuned into the heart space. What's really going on with them? Beyond the surface, they're in pain. But oftentimes we can't see their pain because we're in pain. We're masking layers of pain. And to be able to listen and hear what is under the surface, we have to be able to hear ourselves. We have to be able to hear under the surface what's going on in our heart and learn how to listen deeper and deeper and deeper. And it requires a bit of devotion. I've learned and continue to learn that what is the devotion about? For me, as time goes on, I'm learning the devotion is about being my light, being devoted to the light that I came here to be. More so devoted to that than fixing or trying to change all of these external energies that are around. I invite you today to think about what devotion means to you. That word, it's becoming a more and more powerful word in my life. Meditation is turning into, before for me, it used to be just one of those things I did, and it was very helpful, and it's always been helpful to calm. But the energy of devotion coming into my meditation is transforming it to a whole nother level. It's transforming it to a level that's taking me into my own heart space to listen more and more subtly to myself, which gives me the ability to hear others more clearly. This is the divine intuition. We talk about these psychic abilities and all these things, and we do a lot of that here in this facility. And there are different layers, but the ultimate psychic ability in the here and now is listening from the heart center. It's being able to listen. Because in the long run, it doesn't matter how many past lives you've lived. It doesn't matter 5 lives ago what's happening now, because it's happening now. And while this may be fun information and informative and cool and all that kind of stuff, what really matters is that we are in the here and now listening to what is going on, because we can only change it and accept it from here. How many of you have gotten in a moment, it's so much fun, maybe you've had a past life regression, maybe even had some healing with it, or you've had a reading and somebody tells you about a past life. Have you noticed it might be kind of fun, but then you're like, okay, what do I do with that? what do I do with that? And what you do with it is connect in and tune in. Where am I feeling that in your life right now? Where is that energy happening in my life right now? Not some outside, something that happened to me, but where is that right now? And from there is where it can be the most helpful. From there, you can begin to look within and find where that reoccurring pattern of belief is going, and petition yourself. We've been talking these last couple of weeks here about petitioning and questioning ourselves and our belief systems. Because getting out of this, and we're not in the full 5-planet retrograde right now, but some of you that are, study astrology are being and going through this massive retrograde period where when a planet goes retrograde, it literally, the veil rolls back and giving rise to all of these transformative experiences, emotions that literally are up in the surface. The veil's gone, and there they are. And then lines up experiences in our lives to match really quickly to give us an opportunity to heal. So this month where we've been in this veil rolling back is this just powerful time. It's not about fixing it. It's about acknowledging it and then taking the gentle steps from there. Because if you try to just fix it and run, you don't really get the core message. It's about loving what is. What if you left here today and the first thing that you were greeted with that was of discomfort and brought discomfort, you chose to think for just a moment, what if I loved this just the way it is? Not try to change it, not try to fix it, not try to heal it, just love it. And what might that look like? I invite you just to bring that in as a possibility, that stepping into your life, the next time something happens that invokes or brings about a rise of negative emotion, that instead of greeting it, and even if you do greet it, greeting the greeting of it with, what if I just love this as it is? Just sit with it for a minute. And even if it's so powerful that it gets you and you can't hold on to anything, let out a scream. Ah! Just let it out. And let it move. This is what meditation, as I've learned, is really about. Meditation is about going within such that we can acknowledge and see these different perspectives of ourselves. And the deeper we go, the more we get to see. And as you see a perspective that doesn't work for you anymore, that's not true, reflecting against your soul, you get to just let it go. You have the choice to let it go, and when you let it go, the burden and the energies that we carry in our body get lighter. And so what if every single person and opportunity that you greet in your life is simply an opportunity for you to bring, instead of sitting and cross-legged and doing your meditation, is your opportunity to meditate in the here and now with someone by allowing whatever is to rise. Because whether you do it with someone or whether you do it in meditation, you're going to have to do it to grow. It doesn't really matter. You have the option of letting your life be a living meditation, or go and sitting or doing your thing and greeting these things, because it is the natural order of the universe for them to rise to the surface. Always. The universe wants to rise and help us to grow, help us to evolve, help us to soar into our light and let our wings out to be free. And that's really what the symbolism of the angels having wings is all about. It's about being free and feeling like you can move move around. And how do you cultivate that? You cultivate it by letting go of the burdens that we carry in our bodies, our emotions. But you can't let something go without loving it first, because loving it is the elixir that lets it lift. It's the lifter. If you resist or hate or this is awful, my anger, I just can't, I can't deal with it, I'm not gonna let it out, it's terrible. I'm gonna look so bad in front of everybody if I'm angry. That is the weight that holds and brings all of the emotions back down into the body, and they sit in all of this area. And they sit and they stew and they perk and all of that kind of stuff. And I can tell you, because part of my journey, when I had to take a break from my public practice for a while, was to stew. I stewed for about 1.5 years. And my stewing created about every kind of abdominal ache and pain, bowel movement issues, everything that you could imagine that scared the shit out of me. But I thank the divine every day for allowing me to trust that I had to stew for a reason. There was a reason for me to stew and experience, because one of the gifts that I was given for growing up was the understanding that everything in this body is a reflection of my belief system, what happens, how it hurts, how it feels, all of these things. And I didn't get it because it just wasn't clear, but I really started to get it when I was feeling all these things and stewing on them, and all of my body started aching and hurting and having bleeding and this and that and all kinds of things. And I began to love what is. I began to love it bleeding. I began to love it hurting. I began to go, how can I help you? Where am I running away from you today? And I believe today, as I'm learning, that part of my gift to give to the world is sharing my story, which I'm just beginning to honor myself. You all are beginning to hear some of this for the first time, because I didn't think that it was important. Part of my experiences, the self-worth, I was still looking for someone to go, hey, that's good. And even though they would say it, that's really important, it didn't mean anything to me. So if we can listen, just pause and listen to within. Learn to cultivate what that is like. What does that look like? I can tell you from my experience, it looks like quiet time on a regular basis. Meditation, going out in nature, things that when you're out in nature, nature is part of the lifter. And taking time, we're in this transformational age where not taking time for self is not an option any longer. It's not if you want to feel good. And whatever that looks like to you is perfect. But allowing yourself to do whatever you need to do to meditate, to have stillness, so that you can come back to your soul on a regular basis. And you see how this energy is so powerful right now, shifting and moving and transforming and assisting us. But if you're not centered within your own listener, you can get kicked off basis and off center pretty easily. Be swinging, all your guts hanging out, blah, you know, your emotional guts and everything. So it's really not an option. And so what it really comes down to is about, are you willing to devote your life to the source within you, the source that lives as you, the source that came here to be a light, that came here to experience all of the dualities of being in a human body. Your soul doesn't know these dualities. You're experiencing the dualities through your physical senses and body. Your soul is pure essence. So it's important to remind ourselves that what we're seeing in this human, physical experience is an illusion on some level. It's an illusion to our souls, that truth within us. So in order to transform, we have to find a balance between the truth of our soul and what we know within in our heart and listening is going on versus what we see with our physical eyes out here. And what I'm about to say, maybe for those of you, I know we have some people that are yogis in here and have done a lot of yoga, but what I'm about to say and that I've learned in my yoga practice is that the pituitary gland, which is behind our third eye, it's one of the master glands in our body that's the energy is trying to assist us to awaken right now. And this master gland, when you allow yourself to go there, this is how you step into becoming the master of your human experience instead of your ego being the master of your human experience. The true you versus the ego you. And the ego is just part of the human form, and it's fine. But do you want your fears and your old ways to be running the rest of your life, or do you want your soul to run your life? So how do you access this master gland? It's pretty simple, actually. And one way that I've been doing for years, there's a lot of different yoga practices, but one that's so simple is gently, and we're going to do a listening meditation here in a few minutes. But I invite you, when we do this, just gently close your eyes and roll them up towards this point. It's not a forcing, it's a gentle. When you roll them up to this point, you activate your pituitary gland and focus energy there. And the more you do this, you begin to step into the command position with it. I'll never forget, Kundalini Yoga has been one of the yoga pathways that has helped me with this. And the moment I started doing that, I'll never forget the first week, something clicked so powerfully within my life. I began to start to believe that I was in command. Didn't experience it everywhere, but it was like the key. I had the key to accessing that, okay, my soul's really in command here, and I'm ready to start the process of really going there. So I invite you in your meditation time to gently put your attention towards this pituitary gland. When you begin to activate this energy, and it's already activating within all of you or you wouldn't be here, but continue to really put conscious energy toward it. Because this is the shift. When we put our conscious energy toward activating our light, that's when things really shift. That's when we get behind ourselves and get into the mode of devotion. And meditation and our practices that we do become a part of your devotion, not because, oh no, I have to go and sit and, here we go again. It becomes about this. I'm doing this because this sets my whole day up for peace. I'm doing this because in the moment I connect with my soul. And if you notice, just in Knoxville, it's amazing because back when I moved back to Knoxville in, 2006, 2007, I started connecting with the yoga community here, and it was so small. It was like a little group, and nobody knew about it. And I look at it today, and I'm not kind of as much with it, and it just blows me away the amount of people. And then you look at who you all hear today, it's growing so fast, we're evolving so fast, and your conscious decision to go within and partner with yourself in whatever way that looks like to kick it to the next level is what's being asked of you today. I have a counsel and work with the angels, and they've told me that it's time for me to speak up about my story and share it. And they also have been, for some of you that have been coming into the programs, they've been really keeping the energy up a notch. It's no longer just, light and fluffy anymore. Like, this is the time for us to really get behind the change. It's a call to action. So, a call to act of love. Simply love. That's all it is. Looking maybe at it just from a little bit different perspective. All these changes going on in your life are to help you line up with your truth. So roll with them. Roll with them. When that, whether it's losing a job or whether it's, you're going to have to get a divorce or this or that, okay, roll with it. There's some reason, there's a disconnect, a misalignment, so that you can get back into alignment with your soul. Because some people in some scenarios in our lives are just no longer a match, and it's totally okay. Allow yourself to love what is, the pain, the heartbreak, and then take a step into consciously choosing love. And watch what happens. Watch. In this last, we're going to do this meditation. And again, the Kundalini yoga has been such transformational in my life. And so a lot of the music that we do in here is connected to the Kundalini music. I just love it so much. And the mantras, and the mantra that we're going to work with today is Sunye. It means deep universal listening. And this is beyond, I invite you just to, we're going to play something that was on YouTube. You can't purchase it anywhere. It was done at a recent live event this year. And it absolutely, I was like, connected so much with me that it was like, you have to do this today. So we're going to play this. It's about 12 or 13 minutes long. And I'm going to give you all one of these, but I invite you to listen, and she will invite you on there to sing along, and if you wish, sing along. If you wish to listen and absorb this incredible, innocent, pure heart energy that is being channeled through this, it's very powerful. So I'm going to pass this along and just help you to... So basically, it will be a repetitious form of two chanting Sunye, and then there's a part, and everything in bold is what's going to be spoken, just for your own knowledge. The angels are listening, God is listening, I am listening, and then she's going to sing from a different language. It's an Indian language, from the Japji, which is similar to the Bhagavad Gita. It's a sacred script that is poetic. It's very poetic. So the angels are listening, God is listening, I am listening, and then she's going to sing which I didn't get that because I couldn't find it clearly, the Indian version. It's so beautiful. Just let yourself feel it. Like Marlene said with the crystal bowl, today is really just about feeling it. Let it come into your heart. And then she'll sing a chorus, which you'll see there. And then she translates that and sings the translation, which all my pain departs in listening to my heart. And so it's really beautiful. So just invite you as we play this just to close your eyes and just let it just soak. Let it just come into your heart space. And just for those of you that if you do want to listen to this, I wrote the name Sonatum Kur, and this is on YouTube, so you can look it up if you wish.
The angels are listening. God is listening. I'm The angels are listening. God is listening. I am listening.
to my heart. All my pain departs in listening to my heart. All my pain departs in listening to my heart. All my pain departs in listening to my heart. All my pain departs in listening to my heart. So I'll take a nice deep breath. Inviting that absolute, unconditional, pure essence of love within us as us to take seat in our physical body and to let it move through us and to share it. So it is. Thank you all for being a part of this journey today, and for co-creating the space together, because we truly are all one and we do this together. Enjoy a lovely afternoon of sunshine and crisp coolness that we have gotten today.